It is 1917. The temperature across the western Egyptian desert has broken 120 degrees before noon. Your uniform, thick wool built for European winters, clings to your skin. The sand beneath your boots radiates heat like a furnace floor, and the horizon shimmers in a liquid haze that makes distance impossible to judge. You haven't had clean water in 2 days. Every breath feels like drawing air through a hot cloth, and yet the soldier beside you strikes a match and quietly waits for the water in his battered tin mess cup to boil. He is making tea, and it may well save his life. The science of sweat, why heat fights heat. Drinking boiling tea in 120-degree desert heat sounds like madness. The physics says otherwise. When a soldier drank a hot liquid, the sudden internal heat spike triggered the body's thermostat to ramp up sweat production dramatically. In the bone-dry Saharan air, that sweat evaporated almost instantly, carrying far more heat away from the body than the drink had introduced. A hot cup might add 50 calories of thermal load. The sweating response it triggered could dissipate several hundred. The net result was measurable, real-world cooling that no amount of cold water rationing could replicate. These soldiers didn't have laboratory data. They had something more durable, field-tested, survival-proven experience passed regiment to regiment across brutal campaigns. The brew-up, ritual, resourcefulness, and resilience. The brew-up was equal parts survival technique and sacred ceremony. Soldiers boiled water in a mess tin over a Tommy cooker, a compact, smokeless stove that burned fuel tablets or improvised fuels like grease-soaked cloth. The flame was kept deliberately low. Even a flicker of firelight could betray a position to enemy observers miles across the flat desert floor. Beyond thermodynamics, boiling water for tea served a second critical function: purification. Waterborne illness, dysentery, typhoid, killed more men in several desert engagements than enemy fire did. Much of the available water arrived in repurposed petrol cans tasting of fuel and chemical residue. Boiling killed the pathogens. The tea masked the taste. Every resource had to work double duty. That was the arithmetic of desert survival. The brew-up's most powerful ingredient was invisible. In a world where everything was unpredictable, the timing of an attack, the arrival of supplies, the direction of the next sandstorm, the reliable ritual of making and sharing tea was an anchor to normalcy. It imposed routine on chaos, preserving the cognitive clarity and unit cohesion that kept men alive under sustained pressure. This was so well understood within British military culture that by the end of the Second World War, tanks were being fitted with built-in boiling vessels, engineering tea-making directly into armoured vehicles. No other major army did this. The British military formally acknowledged in steel and specification that morale infrastructure is combat infrastructure. The desert soldiers of the First World War left behind more than battlefield history. They left a masterclass in adaptive thinking, in testing instinct against experience, and trusting what survival teaches over what comfort assumes. Drinking hot tea in extreme heat is wrong by instinct and right by physics. That willingness to act counterintuitively when evidence demands it is the core skill of fieldcraft in any era. The brew-up also reminds us that survival is never purely individual. The cup was always shared. Resilience then and now is built in community, in the small rituals that hold people together when everything else is falling apart. That lesson was brewed into every cup of desert tea, and it is still worth drinking today. If the forgotten fieldcraft of history's toughest soldiers speaks to you, subscribe to Fieldcraft Chronicles, and share this video with every history enthusiast, survivalist, and bushcraft learner in your life. Every share keeps this knowledge alive. This is Fieldcraft Chronicles. See you at the next fire.